Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control 9, to Major Tom. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in the most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can, Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows. Ground control to Major Tom. Your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I floating around my tin can? Far above the moon. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We're transferring to orbiter internal power at the time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for all sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have final control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions. Boost separation confirmed. Guidance now confirmed. Discovery.
Well, there you go, gang. There it is. That's right. Coming to you live on board the International Space Station tonight. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, bringing it to you, your coffee and cigarettes interstellar edition.
Yes.
That's right. And what do we got on the show for you tonight? Well, let's see. What do we got? We got all kinds of stuff. Ben Carson in the news. He thinks he's going to be the next VP. That's right. Apple doesn't have to cooperate with the FBI.
Yes.
Some ass judge said so today. That's right. Oh, yeah, that's true. No, we don't. Absolutely not. Screw them. That's it. Well, we've got students removed from a Trump rally in Georgia tonight as prosecutors are halting VAST and those illegal DEA wiretap operations because HTLA broke the story. Also, tonight, the Islamic Society is getting support from other faiths after mosque vandalism. Look, don't ask me. I got no idea what's happening to this country.
Yes.
That's why we've decided to move up to the International Space Station.
Yes.
That's right. It's HTLA Studio Space. Well, hey, gang, we've got all that.
Yes.
We got so much more for you tonight, including several new hits from the Dirty Bottom Boys.
Yeah.
That's right. So just sit back, kick back, enjoy the view on Google Plus, because we're looking down at your house. Actually, no, I believe we're looking at the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay. Really expensive.
Atlantic, that's what we're looking at. But that's okay, because that's exactly the kinds of things that we like to look at is the beautiful Atlantic Ocean from way the hell up here where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, gang, we got all that, so much more for you tonight. So, hey, why don't you come on? Or actually, no, I guess it's float on in.
Yes.
Grab a cup, or actually, in this case, a packet with a straw assemblage. Come on in and, God, no, with all the oxygen around here, do not light one up. Yeah, don't do that. But however, ladies and gentlemen, it is still your coffee time. Yeah, that's right. It is your coffee time. And, of course, 9:09 p.m. up here at the International Space Station.
Yes.
Of course, down at Mission Control is the one, the only Biff Henderson. That's right. He is pushing the buttons, making us go tonight on the big show.
Yes.
And, well, keeping the life support working,
yes.
too. So. We better not tick him off because, of course, he will turn off our air.
Yeah.
Yes, he will. And, of course, he is pushing buttons as well, in addition to all the buttons at Mission Control.
Yes.
He's also pushing the buttons on our PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer, finally furnished by the folks at PreSonus.com. There you go, PreSonus. We've taken your shit to space. That's right. Nice view right now out on Google+.
Yes.
That's the aft camera. Just so you know, anytime you see the hanging modules there on the right corner of your screen,
yes,
that would be the aft camera. Now we're switching to the forward camera, and is that a Star Destroyer? Well, anyway, those fine folks at PreSonus, of course, bringing it to you. That's right. If you're into audio, whether it's digital or analog, it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, they're the guys to go to. Yes, they are. PreSonus.com. Also tonight brought to you by Tim Hortons, New York City. With those many fine locations across that city, way the hell down there, that little dot. That's right. We're actually just coming to the eastern seaboard right now, Gilbert.
Yes.
So, and actually, no. Hold your pee until we get over Australia. Well, that's right. And let's see now. Yes, in addition to the fine folks at Tim Hortons, of course, providing all of your coffee and baked goods needs.
Yes.
Also, well, Subway, New York City. Yes, with over 150 locations across the city to serve all of your foot-long meat down your throat 3 a.m. needs.
Yes.
Did I get that right? Roger Houston.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm not up here alone. No, of course not. We brought the three amigos with us. You know, amigos, idiots. Yes, it's all the same thing, of course. The one, the only, Mr. Louis Lawless joining us first. And well, he's not in the beautiful Mill Bay Film Studios tonight.
Yes.
He's right here.
Yes.
So how are you, Louis?
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
It's good you're not having phone troubles tonight. That's right. Well, that's good, Louis. Glad to have you here as well.
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Right.
And we didn't.
Well, no, but, you know, again, it's all about the work, and you've done the work.
Yeah.
That's right. 35-time Academy Award nominated, never won a single thing.
Yes.
Another 15 times Emmy Awards for his television work.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Louis, welcome to the show, sir.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Actually, you've got to be careful with that tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got I think it's a 20-minute delay to Earth.
Yes.
So you're going to have to really watch your face. And,
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Well, I'm just telling you. You run the risk of implosion otherwise.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, it sure as heck would be, wouldn't it? Anyway, welcome to the show, Louis. Always great to have you, sir. And moving along tonight,
yes,
of course, the one, the only Mr. Gilbert Gottfried. He is our mission specialist in biofluid recycling tonight. That's right, Gilbert. So nice to see you.
Yes.
Hope you're ready there with those Tang bottles. Don't get them screwed up. The orange juice there.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't get that screwed up with our bathroom containers. Okay. Well, no, don't, because I don't want to drink your pee.
Yes.
And I know George would be all about that, but. Anyway, speaking of George, Gilbert, fill your boots and introduce him. I'm busy.
Is an actor, producer, director, voiceover artist, author, and activist. He's also a social media superstar with over 10 million Facebook and Twitter followers, and one of the most beloved figures in popular culture. He's appeared in hundreds of movies and TV shows, appearing alongside everyone from Cary Grant to Frank Sinatra to John Wayne. But he's best known for his role of the helmsman, Hikaru Sulu.
I thought he was best known for being gay and on Facebook. Yeah, whatever. Please welcome George Takei. Yeah. Thank you for being with us up on the International Space Station tonight,
yes.
George.
I think it's a treat to be here talking with you.
I would guess so. I think you are the first space gay. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself, George.
I'm George Takei, and when I'm walking down the street, people shout out, "Hey,
homo!"
So I'm no more as Sulu than as George Takei, which is what I really am.
Good. And, of course, what you really are. That make sure you tell, if we come into contact with aliens on this trip,
yes.
Make sure you tell them, of course, what you are. Well, no, Gilbert, it's kind of important,
yes,
because at least if the aliens are going to enslave the rest of the planet,
yes,
if George tells him what he is, that they'll probably leave him alone.
Yes.
So,
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, trust me, if a big bloody mothership comes hovering over us here and orders our immediate surrender, you're going to want to stick with the what plan. Yeah. Anyway, George, just to double check now, this is our first show from space. I know it's not your first, but it's our first show from space, of course. So, we wanted to make it kind of special. So we had George, of course, send out the invitations. Did you get them all out, George?
We sent out invitations to everyone.
Right. Okay. So even the president is watching. Yeah. Because I got a few things to say to him.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. Welcome to the show, George. It is always a complete joy to have you on the show, of course, and the gentleman up there at the front, that's Commander Dick Everson, and Dick is, of course, piloting the shuttle that brought us up here tonight.
Yes.
And now he's up in the galley there, I guess it is. That's where the crew goes to eat.
Yes.
He's up there, and I noticed earlier George was, kind of giving him the eye. So, yeah. Yeah, Dick Everson actually is married. Yeah, just leave him alone.
It became.
Yeah, I know.
I did not sleep with
All
him.
right.
Yes.
All right. Well, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Oh, now we're getting. Oh no, this looks like the North Atlantic we're over now.
Yes.
Let me know, somebody, maybe Dick up there at the front there. Let me know when the hell we're getting over Australia. That's when we're going to let it all fly. That's when we're going to let it all fly. So, George, now, this isn't your first time in space. Of course, you're also known for, what's that, Star Trek, yeah?
I've done Star Trek, the series, and the movie series up to the 6th one.
Right. And now I guess, there's no movie crews up here with us.
Yes.
But we could call this Star Trek 7, the undiscovered cunt. Tree. See what I did there? A little play on words.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
I sure do, Louis. And how is your bloodstream holding up in space here? Well, no, we were kind of a little concerned about Louis' health coming up here.
Yes.
Apparently, 11 G's is what we went through on the launch.
Yes.
Which was at 9:45 this morning. I believe they showed that at the start of the show.
Yes.
And Louis' butthole is still in Discovery, so we don't know.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it was me,
Yes.
I would have picked the little sphincter off the back bulkhead and stuck it back where it's supposed to go. You know. But anyways, gents, welcome to the International Space Station.
Yes.
Yes. Now, we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight.
Yes.
In addition to an absolute shit smattering of news stories.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, everywhere I look on my screen, it's just spattered. I've got news stories all over the place. But in addition to all that, of course, we've been doing a lot of work in the studio before we took off there, and now we've got a number of songs added to our fine musical selection.
Yes.
What the hell did we do? We did Boot, Scootin' Boogie. Yeah. We did that one. Of course, those of you just tuning in that don't know anything about the Dirty Bottom Boys, yeah. That would be yours truly on lead vocals, and Gilbert Gottfried, of course, lead guitar.
Yes.
George on bass.
Yes.
And, of course, the one, the only Louis Lawless drumming us all down to some serious licks. Anyway, we've got Boot, Scootin' Boogie. We did, yeah. We got that coming out tonight. We've also got more to add to our Pink Floyd repertoire.
Yes.
Of course, last week we recorded Thin Ice. Well, we've had much an email request, and now, of course, tonight we're going to be happy to present Mother. Yes, we are. And also some other things. We did, what is it? Men at Work, I think. Or is it Men Without Hats? I keep getting the men confused. Men Without Hats. Yes. Okay, that's what Biff says. Yes. Men Without Hats, of course, Down Under. We've got that one up for you tonight. Also, I guess the final star in our Spangled Banner tonight. Yes, of course, the one, the only Mr. Paul Simon. That's his name. Yeah. Paul Simon. You can call me Al from the Graceland album. Yeah. We were really busy this weekend.
Yes.
Before they launched us. All right. Well, moving on. One who also welcome to the show, the one, the only Eugene Costine III.
Yes.
Yeah, he's up here with us. And all the folks on Google Plus, I would switch the camera view to Gene right now, but
Yes.
he doesn't have it on. Probably doesn't have drivers loaded yet.
Yes.
Now, Gene got himself a new laptop today, so he's kind of trying to figure it all out. There he is. Oh, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. He's just, we have the feed. Hold on. Eugene, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's Irish. Wow.
Who knew?
Yeah. Looking good, Gene. There you go. There he is. All right. All right. You can go back to laying down and getting naked again.
Yes.
You got the folks back looking out the windows in the International Space Station here. I believe this is the front camera.
Yeah.
And it still looks like nothing but water.
Yes.
Did you sign it?
Hold on. This.
Just
Houston, want to let us know when we get over some land?
Yeah, you went through the wrong door. No, I went through the right door.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
This is the door.
Roger that, Louie.
This is a large.
No.
This is a
All right,
large.
well, let's move on to this show a little bit.
Did you tell her that Chip was on the card?
We're gonna. I guess we'll start this off to really give a big
as soon as I get
salute
a
to all
plate.
of our country music fans.
Yes.
We'll roll the boots, scoot and boogie, and
And look,
I never said that we did it well.
How do we get out of this
Well,
game?
First story of the night, won't we?
We got that.
Did you get that phone? It's very
the
good.
country past the city limits sign. Well, it's a honky tonk near the county line. The joint starts jumping every night when the sun goes down. They got whiskey, women, music, and smoke. It's where all the cowboy folk go to boot, scoot, and boogie. I got a good job, I work hard for my money. When it's quitting time, I hit the door and run. I fire up my pickup
Down
truck
that
and let them horses run. I go flying down that highway to do that hideaway. Stick out in the woods and do boot, scoot, and boogie. Whoa, heel toe, do-si-do. Come on, baby, let's
That's all. That's a new thing. That's a new item.
Oh, Cadillac, blackjack, baby, meet me out back on the boot. I'll get down, turn around, go down, boot, scoot, and boogie.
Can you spell that, Miles?
No, it's just added to your look.
Why?
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Domino on the piano, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna find you.
I want to celebrate. The dance floors are hopping, and it's hotter than 4th of July.
Stop!
See the outlaws, in-laws, crooks and straights, all out making it straight to boot, scoot, and boogie. Yeah, heel toe, don't you go? Come on, baby, let's go. Boot, scoot. Good. Oh, black, baby, meet me up back.
Hey.
Boogie.
So good. How are you?
I'll get down, turn around, go to town, boot, scoot, and boogie. Hey, heel toe, do-si-do, come on, baby, let's go, boot, scoot. Oh, Cadillac, blackjack, baby, meet me out back, go to boogie. I'll get down, turn around, go to town, boot, scoot, and boogie. Say, get down, turn around, go to town, boot, scoot, and boogie.
Sure, no problem.
Get down to round, put down.
You guys are not allowed in the office.
Yeah, that's right.
Children under the age of 14 have to get
What should I get? Should I get the Queen Anne's?
Well, there you go, folks. And like we always say on the show here, you know, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, there's nowhere else you're going to get entertainment like this for free.
Look at this. Whatever, bro. Who doesn't like the
No,
design?
it's just not going to happen, so don't even try.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
I love cornering the market on
supposed to be with a fork and knife.
best out of everybody that does it for free.
Oh, yeah, I can say
Now, we're going to do our first ever shout out from space. Now,
That one pissed me off tonight.
of course, I'm talking about the one, the only. There he is. Yes, the one, the only. I think pretty soon we might be flying over his house. Houston requesting a redirect coordinates for Stowe, Ohio. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just fire a few boosters and we'll be there in no time. Maybe we can hang up. Moving on tonight. What is the latest news? Well, apparently the latest news is Ben Carson, yes, the just phenomenal neurosurgeon that has a knack for working on brains.
I love you.
Just doesn't seem to have very much of his own. No, he doesn't, because, of course, he's leading the field, apparently, for the Trump vice president pick, and I don't believe this. No, you can't tell me that established white businessman
To me, all pieces of
nobody
my
can
hand.
tell me that he's actually seriously considering putting another black man in the White House. No.
Looks like this is not going to be a big.
Yeah, don't think so. But here it is. Retired neurosurgeon Ben Carson complained at an op-ed on Fox News today that pundits have turned the presidential race into a blood sport. Oh, it's getting serious, and you don't like ye?
Oh, man.
I can't wait to see what you're going to do with the launch codes when Donald Trump becomes incapacitated. That's why we're staying up here. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that to you, Gilbert. You should have kissed Dara and did her extra hard last night. We ain't going home. No, we're not. Absolutely not. Yes, the blood sport that they're salivating over in the polling numbers. Of course, Carson vowed once again that he will not drop out of the race despite his ridiculously low showing in any polls. He is currently, I should say, virtually tied for last. That's right, he is. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah. Yeah, his name's Ben Carson, and he won't get off. Yes, he's tied for last among those Republican candidates in realclearpolitics.org as a polling average. Quote, I trust the American people will soon wake up and realize that leadership is not about how one speaks,
In Chicago,
rather how the life that one leads, Carson says. Oh, really? So lying about your West Point graduation?
You know what? I just saw but I know someone who has been in Chicago.
Oh, yes, I can see that you lead your life as a man with integrity and honesty.
Not you.
That's right.
You've been to Chicago.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Well, absolutely. You know, when I first met you, Louie, I didn't tell you, oh, yeah, I graduated West Point before coming to your acting school. Yeah.
No wonder I didn't get it right.
No. Well, ironically, another poll released today actually has him leading the field of potential vice presidential picks for Donald Trump. Oh, okay. So it's not Donald Trump actually making.
Yes.
Can you bring me a drink back?
Some, I don't know, millennials clicking buttons on websites.
I would have been glad to bring you one.
Yeah. Morning Consult asked Republican and Republican-leaning independent voters over. No, okay. Yeah, it was the millennials.
Yes.
I didn't take your plate.
Republican-leaning independent voters over the weekend, of course, who the real estate magnate should pick, came up with this result. 11% say Ben Carson from West Point.
Yeah.
9% for Canadian Ted Cruz. Oh, yeah. 9%, of course, for Marco Rubio, John Catholic at 8%, Chris Christie at 8%, Jim Jordan 4%. Yeah, you know what Donald Trump should do?
Yes.
He should just pick Jeb Bush out of spite.
There was still a pack of Diet Mountain Dew and a 12-pack of Diet.
You'd be like, well, what did you want, Black or Bush?
Is my painkillers in there?
Wow.
No.
I gotta say, this space coffee is
Where's my
good.
Yes.
Thank you. I was asking for my painkillers in there, and you said no.
No, or didn't really
Listen,
even have
Listen, look at me.
really care.
Yeah.
2% picked
Yeah,
Mark
if you need a
Cuban,
hotel
owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Go all the way
on
down that way.
ABC's Shark Tank.
Yes.
Because you're not supposed to be out. Just
2%
quickly
Mike
sit
Rowe.
down, grab the drinks, lock the doors.
That'd be good. Yeah, Mike Rowe. We'll get him in there.
Yes.
Be careful, most important.
So there you go. That's your ridiculous and idiotic Ben Carson news for today. There it is. Well, moving on tonight, of course, we've got some Indiana lawmakers holding back on hate crimes laws.
Yes.
It's Indiana. They love to hate.
I'm about to
Indianapolis, Indiana. One Indiana lawmaker says his colleagues are just too biased to pass a law against hate crimes. Another says perhaps they think free of bias that they think the state doesn't need such a law. Lawmakers again shot down a proposal to penalize crimes motivated by hatred towards a person for who they are or what they believe, cementing for another year Indiana's status as one of the only 5 states without a hate crime law. Well, Indiana's company in that distinction, of course, 3 states in the deep south, Arkansas, Georgia, and South Carolina, and 1, Wyoming. Ooh, bold republic country. Now, of course, Wyoming, that was also home to the murder of Matthew Shepard, the nation's most infamous anti-gay hate crime.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just, I like that. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, to be honest with you, George, I never even heard about it. So, yeah. Republican Rep. Tom Washburn of Englefield quashed the proposal, saying that he doesn't think hate crimes should be considered more heinous than crimes committed against any other person for any other reason.
Yes.
It's that whole equality thing, he says. Well, instead, he framed it as an achievement to say, we don't judge the people for their motivations because then all victims were held in equal regard. And after all, isn't that what everybody says they want? Well, to me, he says it's very difficult to say something is more or less of a crime based on somebody's motivation. Washburn said, so when you separate it and try to create a special crime for it, what you're really saying is that if somebody on a street corner and they get beat up, of course, because somebody hates tall people and they happen not to be in any protected status, well, that's less of a crime than if they beat you up because you're of your national origin. Some reporters say it was more important to pass hate crime legislation this year than perhaps ever before because of the Because of the Fuhrer. Thank you. Around religious politics and the debate over extending civil rights to lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgender persons. Some lawmakers said that the hate crime law would mark a critical step towards inclusion. It would prove, they said, that Indiana isn't ruled by its prejudices. Huh. There you go. Stand tall, Indiana. There you go. Well, that gave the law more support than it has seen in years from past Republican lawmakers and county or community groups. They say that hate crime laws are needed because bias is real. They say that some populations are particularly vulnerable because they often face persecution. Having harsher punishments for such motivations discourages that and sends a message across society that racism and other forms of bias will not be tolerated. Quit talking about it.
79 cents at Walmart.
Well, that gave that law, of course, that more support. Now, examples of incidents that could become under a hate crime law include the Chinese exchange student attacked in Nashville, Indiana last week by a suspect who told police that he was a white supremacist who hated Asians. Huh. Well, the Muslim woman attacked in Bloomington, Illinois last fall by Indiana University student who ripped off her head covering. Oh, the heathen! Oh, Ma.
It crashed years ago.
Thus exposing her nastiness of her face. How about the African Americans shot and killed as they prayed last year at a church in Charleston, South Carolina? To adopt hate crimes legislation, supporters say raises questions about how serious the state is about protecting minority rights.
Shoot them.
Shouldn't be interested in that. They're minorities. Don't they want to help out the majorities? No, I mean they're politicians.
Man, he was hungry.
They win by a majority.
Yes.
He ate all that.
Probably want to go with what the majority wants.
Yes.
It's that whole self-preservation thing. Well, there are just as real strong philosophical differences about inclusion in our state right now, says Porter, a Democrat of Indianapolis, who has supported the creation of a hate crimes law for more than 15 years. Well, how's that going, Greg? Oh, my.
Yes.
Well, he says he believes lawmakers may have an unconscious bias against hate crimes legislation. But proponents say that hate crime laws protect all people, not just minorities, and that's often misunderstood. Well, it goes back to what the Republicans said.
Yes.
If you're on the corner and you get beat up,
yes,
you're on the corner and you get beat up.
Yes.
If you get beat up, here's the law for getting beat up.
Yes.
Here's the sentence. Next window. But if one of them happens to be black,
yes,
and the guy doing the beating up is white,
yes,
well, he'll face charges for doing the beating up. Right? Doesn't matter if he's black or white, and indeed in all the other states,
yes,
that actually do have these hate crime laws,
yes.
Well, how much harsher are these penalties? And do we ever see an instance where a black man beats up a white guy and the hate crime laws are invoked? I don't think so. No, actually, never.
Yes.
Well, Indiana University law professor Janine Bell said that hate crimes laws would protect not just victims targeted because of being black or gay, but also those harmed for being white or heterosexual. Well, how come the white and heterosexuals,
yes, how
come they're all okay with just regular beating laws? Why is that? You know, if there was a real need for hate crime laws,
yes,
I would think there'd be more of the majority getting on the bus. Well, states without hate crime laws are known as forward-thinking and protective of all citizens, Bell said. I like to think of Indiana as a place that cares about protecting all of its citizens from terrible acts committed by black people. Well, hate crimes laws, Bell said, reflect the mission of our civil rights laws, the civil rights laws that are, for the black people.
Yes.
Yeah, us white guys, we don't get any benefit of that. And people who hate people because of their religion, we call them bigots, Bell said. People who hate people because they're tall, we call them weird or jealous. Tallness is not as stigmatized in this society. So, okay, well, I'm going to start a new movement.
Why is it not the good stuff?
Well, no, seriously, because I've ever since I was a kid,
yes.
I've always had a problem with girls who are taller than. If after a date I got to get a ladder to give her a kiss. No, that's not cool, and there should be some special penalties for tall bitches like that.
Yes.
They should have to end the date on their knees. Now, I think that's fair.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Obviously, you never run out with a tall girl, Louis. Well, however, a spokesman for Marion County Prosecutor Terry Curry said explicitly that adding hate crimes to the law and sentencing aggravators gives better guidelines to both judges and prosecutors. That way, they can treat you as black.
Yes.
Or as white. Well, wait a minute. That's not equal. Well, this statute would also prompt law enforcement to train its officers and perhaps create separate units to investigate hate crimes, Bell said. Oh, would that be all the angry black cops? Yeah. Now, there's no proof that having hate crimes laws on the books prevents hate crimes from happening, Bell said. Well, no, the death penalty doesn't stop murder either. Jesus. Oh, but they do give tools to law enforcement when hate crimes occur. Oh, well, no, the tools to law enforcement when what you're calling hate crimes occur, i.e. beating the guy on the corner, we have laws for beating the guy on the corner. The problem, said hate crimes bill author Senator Steve Glick, the Republican of LaGrange, is that lawmakers aren't willing to go that extra step. They believe in fairness for all Hoosiers. If anything, she said, Hoosiers don't believe we're biased or prejudiced, so they're reluctant to put it in a statute. Maybe we are. And really, doesn't all of them go against the Constitution?
But you got to hit the maximum anyway, and you're nowhere near that yet.
Well, Sue, yes, it does.
I'm on the maximum of everything. I just need blueprints.
Yeah, I just do not get this hate crime stuff.
Yes.
I don't. And that's the other thing too, that with the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
Yes.
We're on back to the show.
Just because I say that Black Lives Matter doesn't matter. No, people get misunderstood about what I actually say.
Yes.
I when I say I do it all the time on Twitter or out with people. Tony, my next door neighbor across the street.
Yes.
He is a big black guy that I do not want to piss off.
I mean, basically, I got everything that you don't like. If I know that you wanted pizza, I would have gotten something else.
Radio station. Where do I get your radio station? I'm like, NewYork'sBestTalk.com.
Yes.
Why? Because Tony's not an idiot. Yes. Tony knows this is an entertainment show, and I'm being
this
funny.
Is a large. I hate to see what the small looks like.
But you see, here's the difference.
Yes.
I put my money where my mouth is. Tony knows he can come over here any old time of the day or night and beat me bloody. And of course, another very important factor.
Yes.
He doesn't have to worry about hate crimes laws because I'm white. No, the whole thing's really stupid.
Yes.
It's not that Black Lives don't matter.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this Black Lives Matter movement is stupid.
Yes.
Because if you have to actually put it on a T-shirt and actually write it down and actually put it out there, we matter. Well, then you've already lost your own battle because you don't.
Yeah.
But I try to get it through these Black Lives activists.
Yes.
You know, I try and explain it to them. You
I
know,
really don't care.
you guys would
I
matter
don't
a
care
whole
about
hell of a lot more if it wasn't this shoved in our face every time we deal with you.
Yes.
You know, every time. You know, we live in constant fear in this country.
Yes.
If we say anything that might be
it's like
construed as any kind of a slight towards black people, we run the risk of having protests in front of our house.
albino pizza to use albino ingredients.
I don't want anybody busting into my house and stealing all my shoes and selling them on eBay.
Yes.
Saw a funny meme today.
Yes.
Yeah, it was on Facebook there, the International Space Station's Facebook feed. A meme that said
you still got that to get?
The Missouri Career Center,
yes,
where you go and get jobs.
Yes.
And the meme says this is the only building that was.
Is that what it said?
Riots. Now, well, gang, we're going to move along here. Now, before we move along here, we got some more musical joy here from the Dirty Bottom Boys. What are we doing? Okay. I'm not sure if Daniel from Australia is kicking around at all right now yet.
Yes.
Usually he comes in a little later.
Yes.
But Daniel, you'll have to play it back on the Spreaker, iHeart, iTunes, wherever the heck you're going. You'll have to play it back because we're apparently taking you out to commercial with Down Under Mites. And again, just a disclaimer, folks. It's not that good. It's not that good. But anyway, on lead vocals, of course, yours truly. On the lead guitar, the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes.
George Takei on the bass. And the one, the only Louis Wallace on drums.
That was a mistake on my part.
Thank you, Louis. Yeah. Presenting to you for your listening pleasure, the Men at Work Down Under. Yeah. In the fighters come bay.
But the kids are ice.
Heavy trailhead full of zombies. And a strange lady, and she made me nervous. Took me in and gave me breakfast.
Freaking quick.
Down under.
Please, no, please, that's wrong. You gotta say them.
Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
I met from a man in Brazil, and he was 6'4" and full of muscle. I said, do you speak my language? He just smiled and gave me a bit of my sandwich. And he said,
You can defend your own.
Getting
Getting it right.
Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
That's a big one. God, gotta pick it on that.
It's
Put it on the wheel and turn.
on the flute, yeah.
lying in the den in Bombay.
Your pants stacking too much.
Slack jaw and not much to say. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Because I come from the land of plenty. You come from the land down under. Where we go and then thunder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Living in the land down under. Where we go and then thunder. Can't you hear the thunder?
We are.
Living in a land down under.
Yes, we are.
Living in a land down under. Living glory and plunder. Get you hear the thunder? Hello, you better take cover.
We are.
Living in a land down under.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarette with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash. He's only Crash. Jesus. Crash? Jesus? Crash. Jesus. Only on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons, always fresh, always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor professionals. Yeah, I do.
Power! 2016.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful.
A broom closet.
But the best part was the shower. My wife drying herself in the Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain.
Defined the whole vacation for her.
Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Batten down your glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum, 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
I love the new turkey and bacon guacamole and Italian bread.
Sure thing.
Oven roasted turkey. So crispy bacon. Blended perfectly with guacamole made from Haas avocados.
Wow!
It truly is heaven on Italian bread.
So you've had it before.
Sometimes.
Whatever he's having.
Fall in love with the big-time flavor of the new Subway Turkey and Bacon Guacamole. All your favorites in one amazing sandwich. Subway, eat fresh.
A recent study shows that blind people are having a hard time hearing the all-new electric cars like the Nissan Leaf and the Chevy Volt. As a result, the blind run the risk of being run over while attempting to cross the street.
That's horrible.
Yes, it is. And you don't want to kill blind people, do you?
No, I bought my car to help save the planet.
But now you're killing blind people.
Well, not yet I haven't. I just wanted to save the squirrels.
Well, given a choice, what would you rather run over? A blind person or a squirrel?
Well, a squirrel, I suppose.
Well, then forget that electric car. Go buy a big, noisy, gas-guzzling SUV so those blind people can hear you coming. Screw the squirrels.
I'm going out to buy one right now.
This message brought to you by SUVs to Save the Blind. You're listening to Coffee
They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
and Cigarettes.
Share my cigarette with her. Yeah, I fucked her every Wednesday evening.
With Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Diesel. Only on HTLA Radio 1.
Shut up.
Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
And describe to us the examination.
Well, she stuck this stick down my throat, which is a probe, a camera.
Yes.
And you see it on the screen. And
oh, you're used to that.
Well, yes.
Yes.
But I'm not used to seeing what I thought I saw.
Oh.
I can imagine a lot of things from what people have told me.
Yes.
And it looked like what they told me a vagina looks like.
Oh my God! You know,
immediately.
You're already talking about vaginas and stuff shoved down the throat.
That I'm familiar
Well, hey gang, welcome back to the
Famous
show.
story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story? Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick popped up underneath, left her mouth, and walked out the door. And Jerry happened.
Oh boy, that's right. Well, you know, why would he when?
You like it? A little butter.
Why you keep reminding me of when I caught you doing that, Louis? Well, hey gang, welcome back to the big show, of course. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, bringing it to you right here. We are live on the International Space Station. Yes, we are. Houston, we're back from commercial and going live. Yeah. Right. Sulu is drunk. Help. And of course, you are listening to the Monday Mocha Coffee and Cigarettes on HTLA Radio 1, and of course, New York's Best Talk. Get on over to the website, newyorksbesttalk.com, if you got time. On over there, there's all kinds of fun and fancy stuff on there. And of course, this episode, we're broadcasting in addition to Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeart, and iTunes.
Yes.
Also going out tonight live on the Google Plus. If you happen to need the link, you can find it on Facebook page, HLA Facebook page, if you've already searched that out and found that. Or indeed, you can get on over to Spreaker.com. The live link is everywhere.
Yes.
You did put them out everywhere, George.
We sent out invitations to everyone.
All right. All right. Well, yeah, we're up here in space with Mr. Sulu. What the hell more do you want? We've left the planet for you.
Yes.
Anyway, we are in the International Space Station, of course, tonight, and you can see it. We've got a live feed going out on the Google Plus, and yeah, you can go into Spreaker.com chat room there, the live chat room.
Yes.
I just shared it out for Daniel. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So the link's there. The link, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. So
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
yes, free advertising. Sir.
Yes.
So get on over to the Google Plus. Of course, later you folks on YouTube. Actually, no, the folks on YouTube are watching it live now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, coming up in the second commercial break, of course, we're going to be rolling a video of Gilbert actually trying to use the toilet up here. Yeah. It's going to be a little tough. But anyway, welcome back to the show. Your Coffee and Cigarettes Monday Mocha, coming to you from space. What do you want? I think
You don't ever play.
And we're back on the big show. And of course, that was a hell of a ride today. Of course, he lost his sphincter on the back bulkhead. Yeah.
That was a mistake on my part.
No, didn't you remember in flight training you're supposed to have your hand over your ass? What was it? Come on, left hand on the balls.
Yes.
Right hand on the. Yeah.
A big one or small one?
Not big.
Mistake on my part.
Not big.
Fortunately, Bill left his sphincter in Discovery. It's he doesn't actually have it with him right now, but apparently, according to our driver of the Space Shuttle Discovery, of course,
yes,
Mr. Commander Everson, yes, he's not going to get Louis' butthole for him. So, yeah.
Music is fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you got to hear it.
Oh, we've got all kinds of new hits tonight. Yeah. And speaking with that, hold on a sec here. Houston, this is the ISS. We are go, no go for another musical piece. Also want to welcome back the one, the only Gene Costine, of course, on the mission with us today.
Yes.
He's up here with us, and his camera is off right now, but I think he's doing things we shouldn't see. But anyway, he is, of course, on the text chat with us in the Discovery.
Yes.
Apparently, Gene says that, yes, Louis' sphincter is still stuck to that back bulkhead. Yeah. Oh yes, there he is. Now let's go to him, just because I love to do this. There we go. Hit the little button that says present to everyone. We'll,
holy
there
shit!
There he is. He's
Run there.
He's live right there on the space station.
Yeah,
Yeah, there he goes. All right. Yeah.
that's a cute one.
Hey, he's brought stowaways on the space shuttle. What the hell's going on?
Stop. That's right.
Commander Everson, we've got little baby aliens up here. Oh, man.
Alex, you want to be on the air?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, geez,
There's
there's
another
more
one.
aliens in the background. Look out, Gene. Look out. God, that one is a face hugger for sure. That's a.
I don't have faces.
You want to be on the air? Come on.
Houston,
This is
we have
live.
confirmed the aliens up here. Yeah. Here he is.
Oh, boy.
Alex.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. Okay.
That's it.
Excellent. Now we'll go back to our regular feed of Over the Earth. Oh, yes. Now it looks like, yes, indeed, Indian Ocean now. We are definitely getting close to Australia.
He said on the thing and it blocked us, so we had to turn it off.
Houston ISS requesting permission for waste dump. All right. So welcome back to the show, gang. And what is it now? What is it now? You're probably asking yourself. You're like, geez, what the hell are they going to do now? This is all just so incredible. It's what could possibly be next? Could we possibly see a Gilbert Gottfried spacewalk? Huh? You never know. We may be able to see that. And also, just a little hint for the third segment, of course, we may also see George Takei do something in space. Oh, my.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
And, you know, just the sheer opportunity to be in space with you guys is
What is that, Alex?
happy now.
Oh, look, for 580.
Well, moving on tonight, we got a. Do we? Yeah, we do. Okay, we got another. Oh, yeah. All right. We're gonna do it. The fine folks here have decided.
I
They
don't
want
ever use rope done.
Mother. Okay. Well, no, I'll tell you at least this much.
Yes.
Out of all the tracks that we did on the weekend, this is probably the best one.
Yes.
Doing Paul Simon, that didn't work out so well. That didn't. No, it did not. But well, whatever. Rest my case.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're going to present to you the Dirty Bottom Boys rendition of Mother by Pink Floyd. We've done it almost, it's chilling. You might actually think we are Pink Floyd. Or there's always that other chance that you might not. But in any case, we'll present to you tonight. And of course, yes, we'll play some nice songs. We're going to do the Mother Pink Floyd, and then we're going to our news stories for this segment.
Yes.
And trust me, there's some really
This
good,
is your
good
man.
news stories.
Yes.
So if you don't like Pink Floyd, go get a Tang squeeze drink. Or better still, Gilbert, go get me one.
Sorry, you don't want
So
this.
just sit back and look on Google Plus there at the aft camera of the space station as we play for you our just incredible rendition.
It has to be.
Mother, do you think they dropped the bomb?
This. Yeah. This. You meant to look at this.
Mother, do you think they like this song?
Pistol.
No.
I'll get the Belgian and Clay. You can't get a Queen Anne, but you can get.
Think they'll try to break my balls?
I have 8,000 left. 8,823. No.
The Belgium engraved is good. I wish you could have one of those and the Queen Anne's. Just the Queen Anne's, the damage, though, from the Queen Anne's is, I think, outweighs the range of the Belgian.
Mother, should I run for president?
Okay, I'll let you see the sword. That's it. Colonial American partners? Yes. British? Colonial American. Yeah, but we have a lot more voices. Private here? What's that? No, I want. I'm trying to let you shoot. Out of a ear. Okay?
Hey, he wants to see your gun. Go ahead. You wanted to go ahead with them? Make sure you bring pulse. Oh, it's in the band, isn't it? Alright, we'll show them later.
It's just a waste of time.
I love you. This guy,
Baby, don't you cry.
Because I let you get some. I love Brazil.
Mama's gonna make all of your
Thank you.
nightmares
I have to come to you. Yeah.
Mama's gonna put all of her fears into you.
Come thank you. Now.
Mama's gonna wait right here under the wing.
I'll let you fly, but you might refuse to. Mama's gonna kick, baby. You
are so purple. Look at this. Look. I'm a Viking. I am the
babe. Oh, mama's gonna help build a wall.
No, what is it?
Some Vikings would use this with this horse. You want me to use this instead of started? Yes. Mirrors. Oh, it's so mirrors. It's 222 versus 322 is better than 322. Now,
for me.
Oh. Oh. That's
Where you going?
boy.
Do you think she's dangerous? To me.
That's nice. That's an average. That's
Mama, will she tell you, little boy?
No, I didn't have to do that.
Mother, will she break my heart?
Stop it. Get over here a little bit. Turn the TV towards you a little bit. Alex, sit right here so Crash can see.
Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry.
Here.
All right. Because he's been watching.
Check out all your girlfriends for you. Mama won't let anyone dirty you.
Cast out the soldier.
Mama's gonna wait up until
Why do you have to do something?
Mama will always find out where you've been. Mama's gonna keep baby healthy and clean.
Bring it.
You wouldn't shoot.
I can't. No, I can't.
Yes, you can. He's only level 29.
Say that. She has a 5.
But I've destroyed Man of Wars up to level 49.
Yeah, and I can parry the bigger level 20 frigate.
Kill those ships beside it.
And you know, I don't know
Yeah,
if it's just me or not,
Yeah.
but the acoustics up here, that sounds better than on Earth. Well, I guess when you think about it,
Yes.
you know, the Pink Floyd fans usually can get only so high.
Yes.
But we pulled 11 G's and pulled out Louis' sphincter today. So you know when you lose a butthole, you're high. Yeah, Houston ISS. We're down one butthole here. Yep.
That pissed her.
Yeah, they said, don't worry about that. That's normal.
Can't be too long,
Moving along tonight. All right. Okay.
Lower your shots a little bit.
Here for a minute. When all the screens on the ISS just went dead. I'm sitting there thinking, geez, was that something I did? Apparently not. They have intermittent outages like this. I wonder if Spreaker is in space.
Don't shoot them.
Anyway, yeah. So we
go ahead and board
it's some sort of an electrical thing.
Yes.
he says it's not.
It's ready to board.
Worried. He says something about a sub B bus. We're fine.
Yes.
The sub B bus is go. Yeah.
Tons of loot.
Oh, I love doing that. Well, moving along tonight, oddly enough and very strangely, we actually have some massive news. And no, they did not pay us in any way. Well, okay, yeah, they did send us.
I'm gonna go outside.
They unveiled their supersonic airliner of the future, and wow, geez, if we'd only gone up in that thing, you probably wouldn't lose your butthole. Well, anyway, it's astronauts already travel fast enough. So now NASA wants to bring the ultimate and speedy flight to the masses. NASA's officials today unveiled the design of a supersonic aircraft with both speeds comparable to the Concorde, but without a jet's sonic boom. The weird-looking new vehicle boasts a long, skinny nose, oddly angled wings, and a tail fin folded into what looks like an origami airplane. Yeah. That's right, you will. The jet NASA calls Quest will fly roughly 1,100 commercial jetliners poke along at 600 miles an hour, with the Concorde, which made scheduled passenger flights from 1976 to 2003, achieved a blistering pace of more than 1,300 miles an hour. So there you go. 1976 technology still blowing NASA away today. Yes. Well, shockwaves normally roll off many different features of a supersonic vehicle and combine into the classic boom boom signature, but Quest would be designed to dissipate the many small shockwaves so they can't meld together. Jet's sound would be more like a soft thump, NASA administrators Charlie Bolden said today, instead of the annoying sonic boom that currently prohibits commercial supersonic flight over land. We don't even have it, and they've banned it.
Yes.
Well, the more complete design, funded by NASA but carried out by private firms, would be ready in early 2017. A test vehicle, also built by private companies like Virgin, who's already blown one up. Will be ready for takeoff as early as the fall of 2019 if the space agency can find the money. However, ferrying radio people from New York up to space for free isn't getting them anywhere ahead. There you go.
Too strong.
Well, finishing the design would take roughly $20 million, and aircraft construction in the initial round of flight tests will demand another $280 million. President Obama has asked Congress for the funds, but as Bolden said Monday, it's now up to Congress to see the wisdom of what we've proposed. And the fact that Obama has proposed it, I think, has probably set us back 20 years. Well, success by the space agency and its corporate partners could pave the way for a renaissance in supersonic passenger flight. Such as flights are now banned, of course, over land in the United States because of the roar generated by the first generation of planes to exceed the speed of sound. Quest would create no boom at all, just a rumble, Bolden said. The Concorde's sound in flight was, by one measure, 105 decibels, says NASA's Peter Cohen. The jet design being pushed by NASA would generate the noise of only 75 decibels at cruising altitude. The goal is to get something of audibility, Cohen said.
Give it to me, not help.
Can't be heard at all. There's no buying tickets yet. The prototype aircraft would only be 90 feet long and carry a single passenger, probably Louis Lawless. Well, no, I had to offer NASA something to get us up here. So.
Yes.
Yeah, so
you love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Sir, so I offered you your butthole. Well, eventually, Cohen says the technology could be translated to a jet carrying 100. The design would allow the flying public to enjoy supersonic flight, says Jaiwan Shin, NASA's head of aeronautics. Just imagine you can go anywhere in the world in just a mere 6 hours. Well, I know I'd appreciate that, being a smoker. Yeah. And I got to say, it's kind of sucking tonight.
Yes.
Because if I light anything in here, we're just a big ball of fire. So I won't be doing that. I'm just enjoying the thrill and excitement of being in orbit. Well, moving on tonight, Apple News. That's right. The big decision has come in. Well, is it big? Is it news? I don't know. Let's wait and see. That's right. In New York today, a federal judge in Brooklyn on Monday denied a Department of Justice request for a court order that would force Apple to bypass the security passcode on the iPhone of a criminal defendant in a drug case. In a ruling expected to influence the outcome of Apple's fight with the U.S. government, of course, because this isn't that yet. And get your panties all excited there. Well, of course, that fight with the U.S. government over the San Bernardino killer's iPhone, Magistrate Judge James Ordenstein lawyers have failed to establish that the federal All Writs Act the government relied on to seek the order applies to this case. The question, of course, is not whether the government should be able to force Apple to help it unlock a specific device. It is instead whether the All Writs Act resolves that issue and many others like it to come, he wrote. He concluded that it did not. That judge. Who's ever heard of him before? Let's quit the pissing around and get in front of judges we know. Well, the decision comes on the eve of congressional testimony by Apple to the FBI, to a House Judiciary Committee over encryption and privacy. In a high-profile dispute with federal government, Apple says it will refuse an order by the judge in California to unlock that iPhone used by one of the terrorists in the December shootings in San Bernardino, California, which left 14 dead. That's pitted the customer's device. The Department of Justice maintains that Apple should help law enforcement on what it considers an isolated request. Well, today's ruling in New York marks a significant, if at least a temporary, legal victory for Apple, which has argued that it should not be forced to violate the privacy expectations of customers by its products. Well, you're not being asked that, you idiot.
The only person I've seen this game that steers away from free stuff.
Viewing the fact in the record and the parties' arguments, I conclude that none of those factors justifies imposing Apple the obligation to assist the government's investigation against its will, wrote Ornstein. Therefore, I deny the motion. Well, do-dee-doo-dee-doo. The 50-page ruling on the New York request said Ornstein has made the decision after weighing the relative closness of Apple's relationship to the underlying criminal case and government investigation. The burden the requested order would place on the company is the necessity of imposing such a burden on Apple. None of those factors justify imposing on Apple the obligation to assist the government's investigation against the company's will, he wrote.
We have
stage court of appeals that could eventually reach court and judges whose name we actually know. Well, the Department of Justice spokeswoman Emily Pierce stated today saying that the government was disappointed by the ruling and plans to appeal it to a Brooklyn district court judge.
It's a handle. He's a guy
has expressly agreed to assist the government in accessing the data on his iPhone. It has said had many times more in similar circumstances and has only changed course when the government's application for assistance. The Brooklyn case centers on June Feng, a Queens, New York defendant who pleaded guilty conspiracy. Investigators sought access to his iPhone 5 as they continued to investigate the alleged drug conspiracy. However, the investigators, they risked being locked out and losing the chance to recover data stored on the phone if they I don't understand this whole thing at all.
Yes.
Stop your screaming.
Why does all these cases now revolve on people's phones? Screw it. Go back to police work.
Well, let him do it his way. And when you play, he's not allowed to say a word about
California Magistrate Judge Sherry Pym, who is presiding over the legal struggle for data on the iPhone of the San Bernardino shooter Saeed Farouk, would not be bound by the Brooklyn ruling, but both sides expect that Pym will consider the legal reasons. The California case continues. This is a very important decision, says Ryan Callow, a University of Washington law professor. Said the Brooklyn ruling, other courts, even in jurisdictions where it's easy finding, read the judge's reasoning. And though the exact context will be different, the principle there are limits to what the All Writs Act can compel will be interesting to all cases involving the act. The Brooklyn and San Bernardino cases are early legal stages, of course, where arguments are heard by magistrate judges who stand well below district court judges in the federal court system. That could signal a lengthy appeal process unless the case is fast-tracked by a higher court.
Yes.
So, yeah, I figured 2017 we might see some movement. On Trump moving into the White House.
Yes.
This case, no, probably not till 2020. Well, speaking of Trump moving into the White House,
yes,
some students were moved to the Trump rally in Georgia today.
Yes.
That's right. Valdosta, Georgia. As a matter of fact, about 30 black students. Oh, well, there's your sign. That's right. 30 black students who were standing silently at the top of the bleachers at Donald Trump's rally there Monday night were, of course, escorted out by Secret Service agents who said that the presidential candidate had requested their removal before he began speaking. What the hell would he be afraid of? Black people don't use sniper rifles. The sight of the students who were visibly upset being led outside by law enforcement officials created a story that was a white-only campus. We didn't plan to do anything, says tearful Taja Davis, a 19-year-old mass media major who was among the Valdosta State University students who were removed. They said this is Trump property. This is a private event. But Trump has regularly been heckled by protesters at his campaign rallies, but tensions have increased after he came under fire on Sunday for not immediately condemning support from a prominent white supremacist. Oh, right, that leader of the KKK that was hugging Hillary. Well, I don't actually see the problem. Hillary, if she wants to hug the KKK leader, she can.
Yes.
But, Donald probably thinks that because, he's a Republican and she's a Democrat.
Yes.
Well, he's got to do the opposite. So why is he going to bother to, Yeah. Well, earlier Monday, some black students at another Trump campaign. A Trump campaign rally on the campus of Radford University in Virginia were led out by Secret Service. No more hate. Let's be equal. Let's be great.
Yes.
To which Trump said, I ain't giving you any of my $50 billion. Granted, that would be great.
Yes.
But really, folks, 350 plus million in the United States.
Yes.
Donald Trump's 50 billion. Split that equally between everybody and did not use Common Core math. Yeah. It only works out to what? 58 cents each? Well, the two campus rallies took place just one day before the high-stakes Super Tuesday, when 11 states hold GOP contests, including a collection of southern states. Trump is poised to lock down enough delegates to give him the sizable victory and possibly an insurmountable lead over his GOP rivals. God, wouldn't that be nice? Then everybody could shut up.
Yes.
Well, during his remarks in Valdosta, Trump said that he's leading a movement. I'm just a messenger, he said. Later, Trump said that his whole life had been about making money, but now I'm going to be greedy for the United States. As the audience roared, I'm going to take, and we're going to become great again. Period.
Yeah.
Karen Clendenin, 58, victim's advocate at the local district attorney's office, says that she was very impressed and that she will vote for Trump on Tuesday in Georgia's primary. Clendenin said that she wrote her Trump t-shirt Monday, or wore her Trump t-shirt Monday, even though she was a little embarrassed because it made her tits nipply. Yeah, so many people at work say, oh, no, we can't have him. He's not sensitive enough, she said. But with the condition our country is in today, we've got to have somebody who's not sensitive and indeed not afraid. Yeah. Well, the students who were asked to leave quietly followed Secret Service agents outside, but then argued with the Valdosta police officers who politely but firmly told them that they needed to leave the grounds of the Trump event held at the school's PE complex. Davis arrested her forehead and shoulder of Leah Shepard, a 20-year-old criminal justice major, and cried. And her T-shirt began to wet from the tears and was urged to cry more. After failing to announce support from former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke during a CNN interview broadcast Sunday, Trump this morning, said that the problem was that he had difficulty hearing Tapper's question because of a very bad earpiece that CNN had given him. I think he's ignorant, says Clinista Sims, an 18-year-old biology major who wasn't among the students escorted out by security. Sims said that she intended to stay seated throughout Trump's entire speech, whether he liked it or not. Yeah. So there you go. So, yeah. So Hillary hugs the KKK leader.
Yes.
Donald Trump doesn't want to comment one way or another on it, and he's the bad guy. All right. I don't. That's another thing.
Yes.
Yeah. America's interpretation of things that happen.
Yes.
It's retarded. Doesn't even make any sense.
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. In every job.
No, Louis, power is not corrupt. People are retards. They don't understand it. Well, last week we brought you the story about the wiretaps the DEA were doing, of course, in the name of the drug wars.
Yes.
Now, that didn't go well for them, did it? It did not. No, it did not go well. Now prosecutors have halted the entire operation. That's right. Palm Springs, California today. Prosecutors in Los Angeles suburbs said that they have dramatically scaled back the vast and legally questionable eavesdropping operation. Wiretaps. Wiretapping authorized by prosecutors and Florida State Court judge in Riverside County alarmed privacy advocates and even some U.S. Justice Department lawyers warned that it was likely illegal. Now, they found that the operation violated federal wiretapping laws, including using millions of secret hundreds of arrests nationwide. Riverside's district attorney Mike Hester acknowledged being concerned by the scope of the surveillance. He said he enacted significant reforms last summer to rein it in. Last week, for the first evidence that the enormous program has wound down to more routine levels. I definitely don't apologize for using this tool that has hit the current county, says, who took, of course, office last year. He says, I think reforms I put in place were necessary. But this is a tool that I believe in. It needs to be used cautiously, but it should always be available when necessary, especially when we can't get into their iPhone. Well, taps have dwindled since then. So far this year, Hestron has approved only 14. In the first 2 months of last year, his office approved 126. Sounds like he's chilling out. Yeah. Well, if the current rate continues, Riverside County will end 2016 with between 85 and 120 wiretaps, still enough to rank it among the nation's busiest wiretapping jurisdictions based on 2014 records. The county will, of course, no longer be in the stratosphere unto all its own. This, but I never should have gotten out of hand in the first place, he says. And of course, the Riverside Public Defender, Steve Harmon, he says that there's no strong investigative connection to Riverside counties, and Riverside County has no interest in being in this business. Who had expressed alarm last week. Cautious, Jennifer Lynch, the senior staff at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, said it was reassuring that the Riverside tap numbers had no oversight, even for new eavesdropping orders. Almost all wiretaps are sealed and are sometimes kept secret even from the suspects who are arrested as a result of the eavesdropping, Lynch said. Well, the Justice Department spokesman declined to comment, of course, on the abrupt drop in eavesdropping in the past. DEA officials, of course, had said that the surveillance was an important tool for targeting cartels and turned the suburbs around Riverside into one of the nation's busiest drug trafficking corridors. The majority of Riverside's wiretap surge occurred under the watch of former district attorney Zellerback, long-term top prosecutor who was ousted by Hestron at the end of 2014. In interviews last fall, Zellerback said that his staff was efficient and processing wiretaps. As word spread through law enforcement circles, the office, of course, received more and more requests to eavesdrop. Zellerback had no qualms about leading the nation in taps. I thought we were doing a hell of a good job, he said.
Behind you still.
Others, of course, did not share that opinion. Justice Department lawyers warned the DEA in private the wiretaps were unlikely to withstand a legal challenge and generally refused to use them in federal court. The DA's office, of course, not good, says... well, thanks.
He cannot
There
write
we go.
He's got to get out of the water.
There's another one of those damn flashes.
Yes.
I'm going to try out the shower, okay?
Houston, we got another breakdown on Bus B and the ISS. Need to... Yeah, Houston disregards backup now.
And this is...
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, given the lack of transparency, we remain concerned about this issue and the fact that the problem may be solved, at least for the present time. Well, it doesn't address what may have happened in the past, but at least for now, we can move forward without fear of being the biggest drug buster in the United States. Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Louis, what do you think?
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
You better tell Houston.
Yes.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Houston, don't say we don't give you nothing. That's good. Well, moving on tonight, kind of a interesting little story here coming up here.
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's about the Islamic Society. I guess in America.
Yeah. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
He jumped out.
The Islamic Society drawing support, of course, from other faiths after mosque vandalism in Plainfield, Indiana. Well, a day after the Islamic Society of North America was spray painted with racial slurs and vulgarities, the organization's Secretary General did not speak with anger. Well, of course not. He sent out 20 people in bomb vests. Well, in a room packed with faith leaders, members of the media, and greater Indianapolis communities, Harim Bada explained that he wouldn't discuss an increase in bigotry since 9/11, the history of racism in America, or anti-Muslim messaging appearing in his years or in this year's presidential election. Instead, he smiled because, well, raising pillars of holy fire for Allah. Wow.
You filthy American pigs. No longer will my men be forced to bow down to your pantyhose wearing imperialism. Each week, you will raise pillars of holy fire in each of your cities until our demands are met.
Of course he smiled. He says, I'm not here to focus on the negative because once you start focusing on the negative, you start to take on a victim's mentality. And as Muslims in America, we refuse to be victims in our own country, Betta said. Oh, it's your country, is it? Well, I'll have you know, sir, that the redskin was here before anybody. So you just put that in your peace pipe and F off. You know, I want to thank the Vandals for highlighting the fact that the bonds between Muslims and their fellow Americans, the bonds between Muslims and their brothers and sisters in other faiths is stronger than the bond between spray paint and brick. Well, I guess it is stronger, and
Yes.
When you think about it, I'm pretty sure the spray paint melts off the brick at 4,000 degrees when you fly a jet plane into it. I'm sorry. I'm allowed to be angry for the next, 400 or 500 years.
How is it supposed to avoid that?
Already gone, but our partners are still here, he says, and they're not going.
Look around and eagle eye. Hello. Hello.
Well, the incident was reported at about 6:50.
You got to kill that guy there, the sniper.
The ISNA headquarters in security footage revealed that the act was committed by 3 men who went to the building, which acts as both administrative offices and a place of worship in a pickup. Were the 3 men black by any chance? Witnesses in the building for morning prayers, of course, saw the men, but were unaware of the vandalism until after the men left. The suspects did not attempt to enter the building, and no one was hurt during the incident. That's all kinds of wrong. Investigators from the Plainfield Police Department and the FBI are still searching for the suspects. The news conference Monday allowed those living in Hendricks County and nearby to stand in solidarity with the local Muslim community. Several faith leaders condemned the actions, delivering the message that an attack on religion is an attack on all religions.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, then I would submit an attack on America and buildings in New York is attack on all buildings in America.
Nah, he's not really on that stuff.
Well, investigators from the Plainfield and the FBI, of course, are still searching. The news conference today allowed those living around the county and you know, I've been there.
Yeah.
Is this a bus B issue again?
Yes.
Kent Millard, retired senior pastor of St. Luke's United Methodist Church in Indianapolis, wanted to let Bata know that he's not alone. During a news conference, Millard asked if all the Christians in the room to stand, and he smiled as more than half of those in attendance stood. Quote, "We're on your side," he said. That's nice. Well, Lindsay Mintz, an executive director of the International.
Yes.
No, the Indianapolis Jewish Community Relations Council also expressed support for the ISNA. Expressions of hatred like this are direct offense to American. Yeah, that's what we said on 9/11. And pluralism, and to our belief that all human beings are created in the image of God, she said. Well, aren't we high and mighty?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
that
American
blow up
violence
massive
against Muslims is
satellites,
an act that unequivocally
destruction,
defies us all.
nuclear warhead,
What about
destroying
New
the
York?
earth, in the wood,
I didn't. I didn't see any Muslims harmed in that. Oh, wait.
Muslims
'Cause
will
they
be
knew they were
alive.
coming in. They didn't go to work that
Muslims
day.
are better than everybody else. And
Well,
Obama.
it's also noted that Sunday's vandalism is only the latest hate-based crime reported in Indiana in recent months. A Muslim woman who was attacked by Indiana University student in Bloomington Falls more than 50 headstones at the Fort Wayne Jewish Cemetery in early February, and a Chinese high school student who was attacked in Brown County weeks ago by a white supremacist wielding a hatchet. What the hell is a white supremacist doing going after Chinese? That's not their mandate. Well, no, Gilbert. I mean, it's not. Chinese look like a black guy?
Yes.
No. Well, white supremacy, they're all about the black. They're not really so much on the Chinese yet. They're busy. God, so much work, so little time.
Yes.
Well, the vandalism also comes just days after the execution-style killing of 2 Muslims and a Christian who were part of an African community in Fort Wayne, in a Fort Wayne home. In that incident, local authorities dismissed the speculation that those killings were hate crimes because, well, geez, they weren't beheadings. Still, Mint said it's time to enact laws that could deter crime motivated by hate. Oh, really? This again? No, I think we've already got strong enough penalties for beheadings. What is it now? 32 states death penalty?
Yes.
Yeah? I think we're pretty covered there, but thanks. Because every time we hear of these despicable and senseless acts, we're reminded that hate-based violence still takes place with shocking regularity, she said. A nation's laws should reflect its social contract with all of its citizens. Well, if we have to enact a whole bunch of hate laws,
yes,
clearly the citizens aren't getting along. And ergo, if they're not getting along, quit trying to jam new ones in there. Yes. Yes. Well, ISNA reported the incident to the FBI as a hate crime, but it's unclear if it's being investigated as such federally. Locally, the crime could be reported as a hate crime, but couldn't be prosecuted as one because Indiana is one of 5 states, of course, without hate crime laws because their lawmakers seem to feel that the penalties for breaking all of these laws are just fine anyway. Well, proposals to create one have been introduced, of course, at the State House. More than 15 years have passed. Most recently, some Republican lawmakers and a coalition of community groups, including the ISNA, unsuccessfully pushed this year to create such a law. Really, if 15 years,
yes,
and now you got all these groups pushing for it, and it still gets denied. Take the hint. No, I'm serious. We got roads to build and shit. Well, it would have allowed judges to consider stricter sentences, of course, when crimes are motivated by hatred towards a person or group because of characteristics such as their race, religion, or sexual orientation. Governor Mike Pence on Monday issued a statement speaking out against the vandalism and directing the Indiana State Police to assist in the investigation. Our hearts go out to the members and the families of the Islamic Society of North America in Plainfield for this despicable act of vandalism, Pence wrote in a series of posts on his Twitter page. I condemn vandalism against places of worship in the strongest possible terms. Wow, he should work for the UN.
Shut up forever.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. of course, I have further directed the Indiana State Police to provide any and all in assistance in bringing the perpetrators of this heinous act to mandatory beheading. Obata said it's unclear what will become of the three men if they are caught by the police. He added that their punishment is not his top priority. Instead, he wants to use understanding and kindness to prevent future attacks from occurring, he said. I think these three young men may or may not be hateful people, but my guess is they've never met a Muslim. If they did, they probably would not have done what they just did, he said. Well, either that or have been blown to bits. I guess in these happy little places in America,
yes,
they just forget that the Muslims are the ones that train their 6-year-old children to go take that bomb into that convoy. Yes, they forgot that. Yeah. Well, Beta said that the best counter to ignorance is fear and is personal contact and fostering relationships with others. So not only do they demand that you love and respect them,
yes,
but now they want you to hang out with them too. Oh, and he also issued a message to any future vandals. What? You're going to raise pillars of holy fire in each of our cities if we do not cease painting your mosques?
Yes.
Really? Well, he says, if you're going to bother to drive all the way to a mosque and walk up to the front door, instead of spray painting the wall around the front door, just try knocking. We will gladly open our doors to you, bring you inside, and behead you. Well, you know, and that's what I appreciate about them.
Yes.
It's the honesty.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, whatever that is, there it goes. Yeah. Houston, are we go for karaoke? You better be, because it's time for commercials. So we gotta. Yeah? Okay. All righty. Okay. So Biff is saying it's time for Graceland's Paul Simon. Yeah. And Call Me Al. And trust me, folks, this one, in my opinion, didn't turn out so good. Yeah. But anyway, let's roll it, Biffy, and we're going to go for a commercial break. When we come back, of course, we get the mailbag with astronaut George Takei. And a whole bunch of other stuff. You just won't believe it. So, Houston, this is ISS. We're going for karaoke. Man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now? Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon graveyard. Bone digger, dogs in the moonlight. Far away, my welded door. Beer belly, get this much away from me. I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. If you be my bodyguard, I can see your long lost night. I can call you Betty. Betty, when you call me, you can call me out. Man walks down the street. Got a short little span of attention.
Really?
What if I die here?
Who walk on the ramp?
Now that my role model is gone. Duck back down the alley with some roly-poly little black-faced girl. All alone. There were incidents and accidents. There were hints and allegations. If you be my bodyguard, I can be your long-lost pal. I can call you Betty. Betty, when you call me, you can call me out.
water is very fine.
A man walks down the street. It's a street in a strange world. Maybe it's the third world. Maybe it's his first time around. Doesn't speak the language. Holds no currency. He is a foreign man. He is surrounded by the sound. Cattle in the marketplace. Scatterlings and orphanages. He looks around, and sees an angels in the architecture, spinning in infinity. He says, amen and hallelujah. See my body down. I can be a long lost pal. I can call you Betty. Betty, when you call me, you can call me out. Call me out. Na 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 Go George! If you be my bodyguard, I can call you Betty, baby. You be my bodyguard. I can call you Betty. You call my Betty. You be my bodyguard. If you be my bodyguard. I can call you Betty. Now hold on to your butts, gang. We'll be back live from the International Space Station in 2.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash. Jesus. Only Crash. Jesus. Crash Jesus? Crash Jesus. Only on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful.
A broom closet.
But the best part was the shower. My wife drying herself in the Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain.
Define dedication for her.
Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York. With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do brand new. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store, more number one choices, and match this or this without using too much of this. Then let's crack open a can. To it. Paint? No.
No, that's a hot pie.
Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
What song is it?
Batten down your glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 tons distilled for a smoother taste.
What's with the helmet?
Well, I got a life coach.
What's that like?
Wake up! Take the stairs. Say hello.
Hello.
Not him, her.
Hello.
No.
You don't need a life coach. Subway makes better choices easy, like the low-fat, sweet onion chicken teriyaki. All white meat, crisp veggies, freshly baked bread, under 400 calories. Subway, eat fresh.
Come on, use your head.
Did you hear? The government is giving away free guns. Yes, free guns. Yes, soon. Gun manufacturers around the nation will be mandated to give every citizen a free gun with ammunition. As you know, the U.S. Constitution states that you have a right to bear arms. And since we've been told that anything that is a right, like healthcare, is given to you by the government for free, then that must mean that soon you'll be able to pick up your free gun. And since free contraceptives are also a right, then that means you get free bullets too. Yes, right now the U.S. government is borrowing money from China and future generations and raising taxes on the mega wealthy just to make sure that you get your free gun guaranteed under the Constitution. Because now anything that's a right in this country is given to you for free. Healthcare's a right, and you have the right to bear arms. But this program doesn't work unless everybody participates. So if you're squeamish about guns, get over it. If a cop finds you on the street corner and you're not armed, that's a $750 fine. Yes, soon, everybody in America will have a gun. It's your right. You're listening to Coffee
They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
and Cigarettes.
I shared my cigarette with her. Yeah, I fucked her every Wednesday evening.
With Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus. Only on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
I've been on enough radio shows to know that in the middle of an answer, the guy is like checking the boards and looking over notes and talking to other people. Yes.
Really?
See, now you're impressed.
Yeah. Except, I think it's Commander Everson that's doing all that.
Mr. T would be proud of you.
Of course he would, Louie. We're all in space. Wow. That's right.
You would have loved the guy. Never drank, never smoked, did drugs, nothing. He had only one obsession, and that was the women.
He just pitied the fool, and yeah.
If you think that you were clever with women, he wouldn't stand a candle with this guy.
No.
Or Muhammad Ali was another one with women. I did 2 films with him.
Yeah.
We were doing a big boxing movie with 200 or 300 people in the stand, and he walked in and had beside him stood his macho honcho, and those were all the Muslims. So they had those little thin ties and suits, and we point at the female. And he went and got him and gave him a note. And every 20 or 30 minutes, they would go into his dressing room. But they were only talking about negotiations, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah, it's all about the business, yeah. Oh, that's right, gang. It is all about the business. Welcome back to HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, bringing it to you. That's right, and we're bringing it to you live on board the International Space Station tonight. Get on over to Google+. You can check out the view over your house. Yeah. We got the view over your house, and I believe pretty soon here we're coming up on Australia. That's right. Just a reminder, get yourself on over to NewYorksBestTalk.com. Get into that show page there. Check out the old show there. Or go find yourself the Google Plus link. It is shared out everywhere on the known planet. It's there. And enjoy the view of, above the clouds. It's kind of that view that Donald Trump has every day. Yeah. Well, welcome back to the show. And, of course, it is getting to be that time. Yes, it is. The very first ever Gilbert and George and myself, we're about to go into it. The very first ever mailbag with astronaut George Taylor. Of course, this is a chance for you, the HTLA listener, to ask George live on the air that question that you have about the homosexual lifestyle as it pertains to house cleaning. Well, the corporate heads here at HTLA, they said, well, we can't have it that graphic like it has been. I said, well, I don't make the lifestyle. They do. But what are you going to do? So anyway, it is that time. So are we ready to roll with it? Commander or Sputmanoff Henderson there. Sputmanoff, cosmonaut. That's it. Houston, this is the ISS. Biff says we are go for mailbag now. Yeah. Well, I guess we're on that 20-minute delay.
Yes.
I don't know why. We're not on the dark side of the moon or something. No, Thin Ice isn't on dark side of the moon. All right. Well, let's roll that while we wait for the okay from Houston now.
Mama loves a baby. Daddy loves you too. And the sea may look warm to you, babe, but the sky may look blue. Ooh, babe. Ooh, baby blue.
You should go skating on the thin ice. Modern life. Dope, dope, dragging behind your silent reproach of a million tear-stained eyes. Don't be surprised when a crack in the ice appears under your feet. You slip out of your depth and out of your mind, with all fear showing out behind you as you claw thin ice. Roger that. Mission Control, ISS copies. We are go for mailbag.
And this is...
I know.
You want to know what it's like to be gay? Well, it's the mailbag with George Takei.
Damn. I like it. All righty.
Yeah.
Tonight's email comes all the way up to the International Space Station from listener Sammy Boykin. And, yeah, all right, Sammy. Oh.
Yes.
He says, Dear Crash, haven't listened to your show, but I'm sure I'd love it. He says, thank you for this opportunity to ask George Takei a homosexual lifestyle-related question as it pertains to housework tonight. Says, my question is, he says, I've been listening to the show the last several minutes.
Yes.
And don't really know if you've done, questions on dishwashing. Or furniture polishing. But I've got a question about your floors. Says me and my significant other, Barry.
Yes.
Sammy and Barry. Well, I guess Sammy's on the bottom.
Yeah.
We've been living together for a number of years now. We've not bothered to get married because this whole, have to fight for marriage equality is just bullshit. So, of course, we don't do it. However, we are in love,
yes,
and we have lived together for 21 years.
Yes.
Wow, these guys are like, they should be grandfathered. This was back when being gay was cool. Anyway, he says, I've got a problem with my hardwood floors, and he says, I'm hoping George can help me.
Yes.
He says, we polish them all the time. In fact, it seems like all I ever do is polish the floors.
Yes.
We've used everything from sawdust to pledge. He says, well, the floors come up nice. There's always some sort of residue left over, and it shows our footprints everywhere. Well, he says, if George can help us out with this and offer a solution other than the sawdust or the pledge or anything else we've used,
yes,
it would be much appreciated here. All right, George. Well, what say you? Do you have any alternatives for Sammy and his beau there to do their floors with any other kind of a product?
Every morning.
All right.
You want to know what it's like to be gay? Well, it's the mailbag with George Takei.
Damn. Yeah. Well, of course, a reminder, folks, if you'd like to send in a mail for George Takei, you can. That's right. Email studio2, that's the number 2.
Yes.
At NewYorksBestTalk.com. Make sure your subject header reads mailbag with George Takei. That's MALE.
Yes.
BAG, all one word.
Yeah.
Mailbag with George Takei, and then in the message body, of course, how much you loved the show and anything else you'd like to say. Make sure George gets that and gives you an answer like this.
Every morning.
Right.
I did not sleep with him.
Who? Sammy?
Yes.
Just bringing that up. We know better. We know better. Anyway, welcome back to the show, of course. Your coffee and cigarettes for this, the 29th of February. Geez, tomorrow's March 1st.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're not actually going to get back to Earth until March.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a long time in space. Now, Biff is reminding me of something.
Yes.
He says that we missed the lyrical playhouse in the first segment.
Yes.
Now, And I nodded and said, yeah.
Yes.
And he says, well, we should do it.
Yes.
And I said, well, why? I'm all for starting new precedents on the show, and if we skip over that and nobody seems to care, let's go with that. Let's go.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Hey, you know, whatever eases the flow, Louis.
Yes.
You gotta you gotta understand that you know, when you're up in space here at the International Space Station, it's all about rates of flow for everything.
Yeah.
You know, and if something just flows better,
yes,
you just leave it alone. You don't screw with it, because next thing you know, nobody on the ship can breathe. So, Houston, this is ISS. We are going with the flow. Yeah. No, Biff is angry, but I don't care. Captain or Commander Everson's in charge. And although he may not play Star Trek Alien Domain anymore, he's still my boss.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, no, when you know, down on Earth, it's a different story.
Yes.
But when we're up here on the ISS and it's his show, I do everything he says. I do. So whatever. So no, I'm not doing that. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Yeah. Okay. Daniel Illis says, of course, he's got Celeste and Tanya on two hot Aussie girls on the video. All right. He says it cuts in and out when video call is on. I hope the texts get to it before Ned is on. Well, you know, we are, transmitting from space. So.
Yes.
And as for the two hot Aussies on video, let's arrange something after the show. Well, moving on to stories tonight. Yes, we still have a couple of them. Of course, Donald Trump is back in the headlines again. Yes, this hour, Trump is demanding an ad retraction. The GOP presidential frontrunner Donald Trump on Monday afternoon called for the retraction of a misleading ad about his now closed real estate investment school. Donald Trump is requesting the immediate retraction of the ads created by American Future Fund, which clearly was unlawfully coordinated with lightweight Senator Marco Rubio. Wonder how he likes being called a lightweight now.
Yes.
Of course, Marco Rubio on these misleading commercials. According to a statement issued by the campaign, quote, the ads feature three individuals who are part of a lawsuit against Trump University, an educational program that has 98% approval rating from all attendees. These individuals provided written praise for their experience in school surveys. The group is producing the ads. American Future Fund has no plans to retreat the ads. The ads exposing Trump's business dealings, in this case, Trump University, are painful for him since the truth hurts, says Stuart Roy, spokesman for the American Future Fund. He said in an email to us, the American Future Fund is a nonprofit group that has been active in this and previous presidential campaigns, but does not disclose its donors. Oh, you mean like Monsanto? Well, Trump University is, of course, the target of three lawsuits, including a $40 million civil lawsuit brought by New York's Democratic attorney Eric Scheidsman. Rubio has stepped up his criticism of Trump University in the last week, and he seeks to get the upper hand in an increasingly ugly primary fight. Well, the ad in question features three of those former students who claim that they were duped by the school. Washington Post fact checker Glenn Kessler reviewed the claims that the students made in the ads and found that they were consistent with signed affidavits of refund requests those students had filed. In a statement today, Trump called Schneiderman's pursuit of him politically motivated and described the litigation as a minor civil case that I have not settled out of principle. Earlier Monday, Trump's campaign issued a retraction demand that targeted the wrong group, a pro-Rubio super PAC called the Conservative Solutions PAC, as being responsible for the ads. His campaign sent out a news statement several hours later focused on the correct group, but not before Rubio's allies had a chance to gloat. If the wall he promises is in the same quality as the legal work he gets from his lawyers, Conservative Solutions PAC spokesman Jeff Sadowski said in an email, it'll crumble in days, as his lawyers missed the fact that these aren't even our ads.
Yeah.
Well, they might not be your ads, but you're still a dickhead. Well, Tennesseans today in Nashville are ranking honesty high in the presidential race. And, well, when you look at everybody on the Democratic side, add up the folks on the Republican side, it's still a Trump White House. That's right. Tennesseans ranking honesty and high in presidential race, of course. Nashville today, Jonathan Smith of Mount Juliet wants a presidential candidate who is honest and will focus on fixing the economy. So he is voting for Donald Trump. Well, Leah Hassan of Brentwood also wants an honest candidate, one who will put the environment and education high on the priority list. She's voting for Clinton. And Luke Williams of Dixon wants a leader the public can trust. He's undecided, trying to pick the lesser of two evils. Sound familiar? Well, voters in Middle Tennessee rank integrity and the ability to take action among their top priorities for the nation's next president, according to interviews with more than 60 voters across 9 counties. How did you folks do with the Obama thing? Huh? That I don't know, working out for you? Oh, wait, no. Yeah, according to interviews with more than 60 voters across those 9 counties, those who were interviewed said they don't want a big talker who won't put words into action. They want someone who carries out promises big and small and who can bring change, according to the interviews. Several were dissatisfied with the leadership of President Obama. Oh, what did I just say?
Yes.
No, you were dissatisfied with it, were you? Oh, who'd you vote for? Now, of course, Tennesseans head to the polls Tuesday, the same day voters in 12 states pick their candidates for the Republican Democratic presidential nominations. Super Tuesday primaries are the biggest test for hopefuls so far and can make or break candidates. More delegates are at stake than any other day, and as such, Democratic and Republican contenders make a flurry of campaign stops in the volunteer state over the weekend and Monday. Reporters for the Tennessean and TN Media asked voters in 9 Middle Tennessee counties, Davidson, Wilson, Williamson, Rutherford, Sumner, Robertson, Montgomery, Cheltham, and Dixon, who they were voting for and why, the biggest challenge facing the nation, and what the priorities should be for the next 4 years. The youngest person interviewed was 19 years old. The oldest was 78. People were chosen randomly outside libraries and fast food restaurants and at grocery stores, over the telephone, and more. They were roughly split between Republicans and Democrats. There were independents and those who identified their political affiliation in other ways. Some were students, others retired, some owned their own businesses, and others worked in professional fields. Some also were stay-at-home parents. Wow, there's something you don't see in New York. Well, with only one exception, they said they plan to vote along party lines. Republicans interviewed want a candidate who will create jobs and lower the national debt. Democrats want a person who will focus on social issues such as improving healthcare and environment and education. Well, voters said the top challenges facing the next president include addressing immigration issues and national security, as well as, well, promoting economic and social equality.
Yes.
Several said that they were looking for someone who would not be divisive, but would bring the country together. Jason Luntz, 41, was enjoying a grilled chicken sandwich at Knockout Wings on Jefferson Street in Nashville on a recent afternoon. He said he wants a president who is concerned with the economically disenfranchised, but also aware of how race plays a part of those not achieving the American dream. How are we going to get them up off the couch? Well, and apparently he's okay with the presidential contender who has spent a life in politics. It's one of the reasons he voted for Vermont Senator Bernie Suckface.
Yes.
As he was most adamant about one thing: don't vote for Trump. Well, you frickin' homo. Well, Presley Henkel, 21 years old, has been registered to vote since she was 18, thanks to her mother, Lori, who showed up at the Holt's Hometown Foods in Ridgetop, Tennessee, where Henkel works, to sign up everyone who was 18. Henkel wants a candidate who takes issues that face younger Americans seriously because she's a younger American and does not care about any other American. And that's why she plans to vote for Marco Rubio. Quote, I think he's more reliable than to the younger generation. More relatable, she said. Hinkle, who is studying aesthetics at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, so another wasted course in money. Oh my God, I'm studying to be a nail technician. Well, hey, honey, I got an idea. With all that education, why don't you just stop and go run for president? Yeah. No, well, I mean, if you look at the field, she's got a real shot. She says, I would also like to see some options for students so they don't have to come out of school with so much debt and student loans, Hinkle said. We have started making some headway with that, but I would like to see a little bit bigger dent in it. This nail technician's course is $4,000. Well, Kevin S. James, a 62-year-old retired truck driver from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, said he voted early for Republican Canadian Ted Cruz. Yes, he said he worries about the economy and disagrees with Obamacare. Well, good for you. Find me somebody who agrees with Obamacare. Well, I've been a Ted Cruz man since day one, James said. He knows Canada. And he knows the Constitution. I believe we should be living under Canada's rule of law. But he says we're not. I like Donald Trump's spirit, and I like things that he says he wants to do, but saying and doing are two different things. Oh, right, you stupid idiot. Go with the politicians who lie for a living. Yeah. Yeah, don't go for the businessman who lies for his own gain because he says he's going to be in getting his own gain for America. No, that's too much sense. No. Yeah, well, Schmidt, whoever Schmidt is, who is Schmidt? Okay, some German. Well, Mr. Schmidt, 43, owns a A-plus automotive repair and towing in Mount Juliet. Working on a car in a recent morning, he said he likes Republican frontrunner Trump's leadership abilities and believes honesty, goal setting, and putting the people first are the most important qualities that a president needs. Well, I guess, sir, you don't know what a president's supposed to be. Yes, he says the economy, ending free trade with China, and strengthening American companies are the biggest challenges Schmidt sees for the next president. Well, Donald Trump's going to totally own the Chinese. You've only got one choice. Well, economic improvements crossed party lines for local voters, as did the need to elect someone who can work with both political parties and bring the country together, according to the interviews. Clinton supporter Hassan, who was 32, owns a temporary tattoo company. I guess you don't really have to worry about customer service after the fact, do you? What the hell? I come to you for a tattoo, and look, it's gone. That's right, sir, and so's your money. Thank you. Well, stopped at the Well Coffee House on Old Hickory Boulevard in Brentwood with her 2 children in tow. She said she looked for a candidate who is not too liberal or too conservative. She wants a moderate. The environment and education are important to her. Yes, sounds like you need to go back to school. Now, she says, I have 2 young children, so education is a big focus for me. Well, go to Canada. Hassan said that they played in the crowded coffee shop. Williams is an independent who owns a small business. He's not made up his mind on who to vote for Tuesday. I'm very undecided on this, he says. I don't believe we have a great group of people to choose from. So this year it feels as though we're having to choose between the lesser of 2 evils. I can't even figure out who that is yet. It's so confusing. He says he's looking for a candidate who can rebuild trust with the American people. Well, then ignore everybody. We have a government who the country is struggling to trust with our future, he said, and that is a scary feeling for all of us. Well, yes, it is. So be scared. Close your eyes. Tick a box. Well, moving on. Yes, the Pentagon. I said it. The Pentagon.
Yes.
That big 5-sided building.
Yes.
Yeah, those guys. Well, it's kind of good to know.
Yes.
In a way. A thing which I know and you don't because I haven't read it yet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Pentagon is ramping up its cyber war against ISIS.
Yes.
I don't know. All the folks now in America at the mosques are going to have a real problem, aren't they? Well, we used to have vandalism as a problem.
Yes.
Now they are breaking down our computers. Well, the Pentagon today stepped up its cyber war on the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yes, disrupting the terror group's ability to communicate on Facebook.
Yes.
Defense Secretary Ashton Carter said Monday. Carter declined to detail the tactics, which, of course, are secret, but he spoke publicly about the initiative to illustrate progress, he said, that the Pentagon is making against the Islamic State, seeing as how our airstrikes can't hit anything. Well, we are accelerating this just as we're accelerating everything else, Carter told reporters at the Pentagon News Conference. The Pentagon has spent billions of dollars and set up a separate cyber command to boost its cyber warfare capabilities, which range from defending the Pentagon's own communications network, which gets hacked regularly.
Yes.
Of course, to being able to attack and disrupt an enemy's computer network. We can't allow them to freely command and control forces, Carter said. Really? How? You guys are so damn good.
Yes.
How come Mark Zuckerberg is now spending billions of dollars to protect Facebook? What are you doing? No, true story. ISIS is going after Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Yeah. He's talking to the Chinese president and stuff. What's the Pentagon doing to secure him, huh?
Yeah.
Seems like out of all the Americans I can think of,
yes,
the guy who owns Facebook might be a target. You might want to get on that there, Pentagonis. Well, they've spent billions of dollars, and of course, well, they're going to disrupt the enemy's computer network too now. Yeah, we can't allow them to freely command and control forces, Carter said. Carter and Marine General Joseph Dunford, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that cyber warfare attacks against the Islamic State, also known as ISIL and ISIS, have helped disrupt the militant group's communication networks. So do airstrikes if you hit them. And I hate to break it to you, generals, but you're also disrupting communications of good, clean, fun-loving Muslims, too. You know, what say you to that? That's not fair and equal. Well, we're trying to both physically and virtually isolate ISIS, Dunford said. Unlike Al-Qaeda, which operated primarily as a terrorist network, the Islamic State is, of course, trying to govern large swaths of territory in Iraq and Syria using Facebook. As it still occupies Mosul, Iraq's second largest city. Like any government, the Islamic State has had to establish a bureaucracy to manage its territory, which requires computer and communications networks. And those networks are also vulnerable to cyber attacks by the U.S.-led coalition, if we only knew where they were. Maybe they better get over to talk to intelligence. Well, like any government, the Islamic State is established their bureaucracy, of course, and their computers, and they're magically able to get on and just sit there all day and make ISIS-related profiles on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Oh, but wait, no, that's probably not them doing that. No. Who might that be? Oh, that might be the Muslims in North America with their network of mosques that have nothing but time on their hands. And of course, the Pentagon is seeking $6.7 billion to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, and only fund it for another 12 months. $6.7 billion to fund it for 12. Either you're paying everybody $90 an hour. To sit there and hang out on Facebook and stop ISIS profiles. Oh, wait, no, that's Zuckerberg doing that. So, generals, what is it you're actually spending this $6.7 billion on? What is that? I think the American people, under conditions of equality and transparency, need to know. Yeah, the Defense Department is attempting to curb spending in other areas. We've sunk a lot of money in developing capabilities, says Martin Lebecki, an analyst with the Rand Corporation. Carter has also established links with Silicon Valley executives so that the Pentagon can stay current with fast-paced technological developments that all these companies are actually making a profit on, but the government seems to suck into black holes. And the Islamic State has been aggressive in its use of cyberspace, using social media to recruit and inspire attacks against Western targets, i.e. Facebook and Twitter. Carter, in a visit last month to Cyber Command at Fort Meade, Maryland, encouraged the command to intensify the fight against the Islamic State. Pentagon Press Secretary Peter Cook said afterwards, that's all he said, because it costs too much money to say anything more. Yeah. Wow. That's little much there. $6.7 billion for 12 months of operations battling ISIS on a bunch of computers. How dumb do you think we are? Well, moving on to a final story tonight, of course, and Never Let Go. Yep, we're still talking about the Oscars. Wait a minute. No, we're not. We never talk about the Oscars. They're stupid. Well, we always save stupid for the end of the show. So, and there's so much to say about the 88th Academy Awards, isn't there? Where to begin? Well, let's go back to the Titanic with Jack and Rose. When Leonardo DiCaprio accepted his long-awaited Oscar for Best Actor, we were feeling all the feels, weeping along with Kate Winslet as we haven't since Rose let Jack die in the icy waters of the Atlantic. Really? Yeah, what happened to that never let go, Jack? And then she lets him go. Well, it was really a warm, fuzzy moment, wasn't it? And an evening filled with biting jokes and monologues that kept the Oscars so white discussion going all night. Yes, host Chris Rock was unrelenting. Some jokes worked, most didn't. And when he brought Stacey Dash on stage, everyone asked, "What the fuck?" Rock even brought in his daughters to sell Girl Scout cookies. It's that time of year. If you missed the show, you can, of course, catch up and find out what happened. But I'm not going to tell you how because it's stupid. Well, yeah, and that's no. What is really? We going to do that now? Yeah, Black Lives Matter in the movies. Really? Honey, they don't matter in reality. Why is the movies so different? Yes, well, I hate to break it to you folks, but nobody will ever know because we're not talking about it. No, that's right. Daniel Illis says, "Go Mad Max, Aussies win." A few days ago, I saw a punchline that could hold that joke. Well, Houston, this is ISS. Are we good to go for Bob Dylan? Yeah? Yeah, all right.
Yes.
I can't use it anymore. Skin down to down sea. Here I'm knocking on the door.
Yes.
Knocking on every door. Knocking on every door. Knocking on every door. Knocking on every door. I'm gonna put my guns to the ground. I can't shoot anymore. That long black crown is coming down. I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah. I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Knocking on
Yes.
And now a message from J.G. Wentworth.
It's my money and I need it now.
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 Hey, shut the fuck up!
It's your money. It's what you need.
That's right, gang. It is your money. Use it when you need it, which is right now.
Yes.
Go out and start using it. It'll help the government, too.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
J.G. Wentworth, Louis. Yeah. Just call them up. It's your money. Get it when you need it.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, you don't want to pay them, do you? Okay, there we go. All right, well, gang, that's rounding us out here for our lovely night aboard the International Space Station. Hold on a second here now. Houston, this is ISS. Are we go, no go for show close? Roger that. Oh, wait a minute. Roger that, Houston. Roger that. We'll go with mother up and out. Roger. Mother, do you think they'll drop the bomb? Mother, do you think they'll like this song? Mother, do you think they'll try to break my balls? Ooh, mother, should I build the wall? Mother, should I run for president? Mother, should I trust the government? Mother, will they put me in the firing line? It's just a waste of time. Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna make all of your nightmares come true. Mama's gonna put all of her fears into you. Mama's gonna keep you right here under her wing. She won't let you fly, but she might let you sing. Mama's gonna keep baby cozy and warm.
Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Course mama's gonna help build a wall. Do you think she's good enough? For me? Mother, do you think she's dangerous? To me? Mother, will she tell you, little boy, apart? Ooh, mother, will she break my heart? Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna check out all your girlfriends for you. Mama won't let anyone dirty get through. Mama's gonna wait up till you get it. Mama will always find out where you've been. Mama's gonna keep baby healthy and clean. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. You're always a baby to me. Mother didn't need to be so high.
Well, gang, that is all we got for you from the International Space Station tonight. Now we've got to focus on getting back the hell down to Earth. I want to thank the one, the only Mr. Louis Lawless, of course, tonight for being here, sir. The 35-time Academy Award nominated director. Never won a single thing. Doesn't matter to him. He was here for us tonight. Thank you so much, sir.
That was a mistake on my part.
Excellent. Also want to thank the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried,
Yes.
for accompanying me on this mission to the stars.
Yes.
And of course, well, Gilbert, you say it the best.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
Thank you. Also, George Takei, sir, it's been an honor having you on this mission.
Yes.
I can't think of a helmsman I'd rather have, with the possible exception of Commander Everson.
Every morning.
I know, sir.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly. It has been a fantastic experience.
Well, good. You keep thinking that.
Yes.
And also, all you listeners out there in and around the New York area, or indeed in the rest of the galaxy. Yes, thank you for tuning in, and continue to tune in, please. Tomorrow, your Tuesday Espresso, apparently coming to you live from the Vietnam War. Yeah.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Anytime I can do time travel, Louis, I'm there.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys have yourselves a great Monday night, a great Tuesday. We'll see you here 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Have a good night.